Welcome to Persistent Purpose with MJ Hunter. I am your host, Coach MJ, global speaker, mindset strategist, emerging author, and event producer. If this is your first time on the Persistent Purpose podcast, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications and alerts so that you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And if you are already a member of our family, welcome back, and we appreciate you. Be sure to share this episode. Today, we're going to be talking about our mouths, the words that come out of our mouths. We've all heard the phrase, you're hung by the tongue. And I think we all have a general sense that the words that come out of our mouth can sometimes be related to what's going on in our lives. But I'm here to tell you that the way you speak about a thing is the majority of how you're going to experience that thing. The words that you say over your situations, the way that you talk about your situation, the way that you speak about other people, all of that ties into the outcomes that you are or are not receiving. You cannot outpace or outperform a trash mindset and trash talk. And the talk is a reflection of what's going on in your head. And we talk a lot here on Persistent Purpose with MJ Hunter about your mindset. But your mindset can be influenced by your words. So it's like a circular loop. The way you think comes out of your mouth, and then the things that come out of your mouth circle back and affect your mindset. So today I'm going to share with you 4 power phrases that are going to help you to upscale your outcomes fast. You cannot outpace trash thoughts and trash talk. You can work, and do all the tasks. But if your thinking, your thoughts, and your talk don't align with what you want to happen, you are going to get more of what it is you're thinking and what you are talking about. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first phrase that you need to bring into your vocabulary is, well, first let me set this up. We're going to talk about replacing what you're already saying with something else, because it's easy to say that someone is doing something wrong or saying something wrong. But if you don't give them something to replace it with, they're going to stick with the patterns and the habits that they have already been experiencing and been using. For any of you who are parents, you can tell children, don't do this, don't do that. And even with adults, but if you don't tell them what to do, they're going to do more of what they've been doing. They don't know what to do, because if they did, they would be doing it. They're doing what they're currently doing because that's what they know. So we're going to talk in terms of what you're currently saying and then what you need to say instead. So the first one we're going to talk about is replacing I should with I want, I need, or I desire. So what do you think about when you hear the word should? Should is about external expectations. I should be doing this. I should go back and get my degree. Should says that this is what I'm supposed to be doing based on some standard, based on something external to me. Now, sometimes our shoulds can come from what we're telling ourselves that we should do, but ultimately those shoulds are coming from external to us, because things that you really want to do, you're doing them. The activities that align with who you really are and where you want to go, 9 times out of 10, you are doing those things. When you talk in terms of should, that usually comes from what society is telling you that you should be doing or saying, what your parents' influences are placing, family, your friends, your co-workers, your church community, your spouse. Should comes from an external place. You saying, this is what is the right thing for me, even though I'm not doing it. And I'm usually not doing it because it doesn't feel right to me. Most human beings go to the path that feels the best to them. And sometimes that means that they're not achieving. Sometimes doing what feels best to you is the easy way out. But sometimes it's about authenticity and doing what is right for you. So when you say, I should be doing this, but I'm not, that can be a strong indicator that no, you shouldn't. Look in terms of what's on the inside. What is it that you really need to be doing and bringing into your life? What is it that you truly want? That can be one of the hardest pieces of understanding to get about ourselves is what is it that we want? What is it that we truly, truly want? We're going to have to talk about wants in another whole episode. Or what is it that I desire? Because when it's something that you truly desire, you don't come at it from a should energy. You say, that's what I want. And you set about going after it. But it can be hard to come to terms with the fact of what you really want when you have a lot of should hanging over you. I just thought about this. The word should is a part of the word shoulders. So now when you think about saying, I should do this or that, think about somebody standing over your shoulder and speaking for you. Should is a place of external expectations. We want to flush out those external expectations and look internally for your expectations that you have for yourself. Now, the second power phrase that I want you to put into your vocabulary is I want you to replace I have to with I get to or I choose to. This is a powerful one because we often hear people saying, and we're all guilty of it, but some of us are more guilty of it than others, saying, I have to go to work, or I got to go in here and do this laundry, or I have to. And again, that comes from external. You're saying in that moment when you say I have to is you're saying I don't have a choice. Something outside of me has made a decision, has made a choice for me, and I don't have a choice. It's a very it's a lack of ownership of who you are and what you can do and what you want to do. You're leaving ownership or placing ownership for your actions, for your words, for your thoughts, but mainly for your actions on someone else. I've got to go to work. No, you don't. There are consequences to everything that you choose to do, but you don't have to do anything. There are some options that are better than others, but you don't have to. But when you speak about have to, that puts ownership, takes it off of your plate. And sometimes we don't want ownership. It's nice to be able to, in certain mindsets, it's nice to be able to blame somebody else and say, I have to do this, as if you don't have a choice. But saying I choose to gives you ownership. And saying I get to is even more solid because it helps you to look at everything in your life as an opportunity, as a learning opportunity, or just a place where you can grow and expand, or where you can at least learn what you don't want. Go into situations and speak about, I get to go to work today. Because there's a bunch of people on Indeed.com right now who aren't getting to go to work. They're looking for employment, or they're looking for better employment. I got to go in here and deal with these kids. And we say these things in jest, but words have power. Words have the power to bring about more of what you do want or what you don't want, because it changes what you're focusing on. So if you feel like I have to go deal with these kids, or I have to go to the store, even for very benign or harmless things, once you speak about a situation in a certain way, you set it up to either make your life better or worse. We only have so much time here on earth. It behooves us all to make our time as positive and as productive and as enjoyable as possible. And when you go through life with an I have to energy, it makes you a victim instead of a victor. So begin to rephrase sentences that you would catch yourself saying, I have to do such and such. Change it to I get to. That's a place of opportunity. Or I choose to, because that gives you ownership. The third power phrase that I want you to put in your vocabulary is that I want you to replace they did XYZ with I did XYZ. Or here's a tough one, I allowed XYZ. We just talked about the temptation to blame others. It is so tempting to say that somebody else is responsible. And I'm not saying that other people don't do things. I'm not saying that sometimes other people are at fault. But what does that get you? What did it get you to say they did it? Okay, unless we're talking about a situation where there's legal responsibility or financial responsibility, so we have to establish who's at fault. If that's not the case, what value is it to you to make sure everybody knows, or that you're stuck on they did that? And this can be tough because there are things that happen to us in our lives that are hurtful, that are traumatic, that are devastating, that set us back. And so it can be difficult to let go of the they did. But when you take control, this is a place of empowerment. When you take back your control and your power by saying, I did, and I'm not saying you're going to say that you did what they did. No, but take ownership and take power back by looking at what you did in the situation. Why? Because it allows you to maybe make a different decision in the future in a similar situation and get a different outcome. Remember, we're talking about upgrading your outcomes fast. Letting go of the they did. I've had to do this in various relationships, in dating relationships, in friendships, things with family, situations with jobs, situations with finances, situations with faith communities, all types of situations. I've had to let go of the they did. They made a choice. It affected me. What do I get from continuing to stay in the space of they did? And I'm not saying it's easy. I said we can upgrade our outcomes and upscale our outcomes fast by changing the way we talk. Did not say it was always going to be easy. Sometimes you have to get with a professional. Maybe it's a therapist or a counselor. Do what you have to do to find the I did in the situation. And another branch of this particular paraphrase is I allowed. Looking at what did I contribute to the situation to allow this to happen, this to be my outcome, even if it's not something bad per se. We're not talking about good versus bad. We're just saying, what did I allow either right in the middle of the situation or years before? Maybe there were boundaries I never set that now I can set if I admit, if I had better boundaries, or if I had said A, B, and C 6 months earlier, this might not have happened. Or if my resume had been better, maybe this could have. Find the place where you are in an empowered position to learn and grow from it. You don't get any brownie points for continuing to be the victim, but you definitely get brownie points, and you can expand and level up so much more quickly when you look for the lesson by saying, okay, what did I do? What did I allow? So I can know what to do differently. Because this is all about getting you better outcomes. It's not about making those other people wrong. They're gone. They done gone on and messed up a whole bunch of other people since then. What can you do to upscale your outcomes fast? Go to I did or I allowed so that you can learn and operate differently the next time. And then the last one, the last power phrase is replacing I can't with how can I. This is one that I have gotten very, very almost religious about, because when you say I can't, that's a declarative statement. It ends with a period. I can't, fill in the blank, whatever you can. And that's the end of it. You're saying I can't do that. And whatever you say in life is true. If you say I can't do that, you're right. Because you cannot outpace your own beliefs about your abilities, about your situation. You can't outdo yourself. Right? I mean, obviously you can improve yourself, but you can't outperform what you're stating is possible for you. When you say I can't, that's the end of the discussion. Nothing else. It doesn't invite curiosity. It doesn't invite looking further the same in the way that how can I does. So if I say I can't run a 5K, years ago, I was a runner for a hot minute. Well, it was a little over a year. I was a runner. I never said I can't run. Now, if people ask me, were you a runner in high school? I would always say, no, I wasn't. And until I became interested in being a runner, I didn't pursue it, but I wasn't saying I can't do it. I just never did it. Once I became interested in being a runner, I moved into a position of how can I become a runner? What can I do? Okay, I can get the Couch to 5K app. I can go after this 3 times a week and follow the instructions and work my way up. How can I makes you look for solutions? When you say I can't, you're not inviting solutions. You're done with the conversation. So this puts you in a place of curiosity, of finding opportunities when you say, how can I? So don't say, I can't afford that. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate it, hate it, hate it. Hate to hear I can't afford that, because you're absolutely right. And maybe the money's not sitting in your bank account, but it also will never be sitting in your bank account if you just say, I can't afford it. That's a present situation. What do you get from saying that? No, say, how can I get the money for that? Because until you create the need for, in that example, money's not going to show up. We always get the money that we need. When I say need, I'm talking about for survival. Because if you're watching this video, you're surviving, you're alive. So you have the food that you need to live today. You have a modicum of safety. That's why you're able to watch a video on YouTube or on a podcast. So beyond needs, when you have something that you want and you turn it into a need, I must have that, then the resource will show up. And that's not just related to money. That's related to time. That's related to relationships. That's related to ideas, whatever it is that you need. For example, you may be looking for ways to upgrade your mindset instead of saying, oh, my mindset, I'm so negative and I can't think differently. I'm just like this. That's just how I am. No, you didn't do that. You looked for mindset related podcasts. And that's why you're here watching this today or listening to this today. Change I can't to how can I, and that's going to open you up to a world of opportunity. And if you are looking for other opportunities to upgrade your mindset, upgrade your toolkit, upgrade your skill set so that you can upscale the outcomes that you're getting in your life, in your business, in your career, I want to invite you to go to MelanieHunter.com/masterclass. We have a series of classes coming up in the near future that you will want to get in on to upscale, whether it's time management, whether it's finding and nurturing a mentorship relationship, whether it's starting a coaching business from scratch. We have so many master classes up there that I will be conducting live for you, but you need to get over there and get registered right away. So again, MelanieHunter.com/masterclass is where you go to get in all those master classes. And if you're looking for other resources, go just to MelanieHunter.com and you will see all of the resources that we have available to help you to upscale your outcomes. This has been Persistent Purpose with MJ Hunter. I'm Coach MJ. And until next time, take care and be blessed.